Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 21, The 11th Hour. To briefly recap last episode, we managed to finally make Sven a count in the Empire of the Moon, which he deserves fully. As a result, he was granted 2 additional Psycast, Far Skip, and Mass Chaos Skip, as well as some additional aid that he can call in times of crisis. Bunny is now next in line to increase her royal rank, and we have a bit of a monument outstanding for us to build to level her up to Yeoman. Currently, most of our people are either biosculpting or sick, so that is a bit of a setback, as we have, I guess, 6 people currently incapacitated in one way or another. And we have a ship defoliator slowly expanding to our farm field. Now, by my calculations, we will have plenty of time for the defoliator expansion before everybody recovers and I manage to smith up some sniper rifles. So I'm not immediately worried. One thing I noticed, which I'm surprised I hadn't noticed earlier, is beer bottles. Yeah, they unfortunately kind of count as weapons. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. But they count as weapons, and I need to remove them from the dining hall as a result. As you can see here, the Slave Rebellion risk has weapon proximity 25%. This might have been the trigger for the Slave Rebellion last episode. I am not sure. But I am not going to take any chances, and I'll just go ahead and remove them from that stockpile and put them in the weapon stockpile. In the future, what I might do is to have a little cabinet or closet for beer that slaves are not allowed to go into that is adjacent to our dining room. That would be another very viable solution. But for now, the quick fix is to just shove them in the weapons cabinet. Okay, so Bunny is the one lagging behind the most with flu immunity. No Luck is at 83%. Let's tend. And then Trustin is at 81%. Bunny lagged behind at 63%. I'm not too worried about it. She's still ahead of the curve. And then, of course, we have some slaves that have some immunity gain to go as well. Another thing I'd like to do is to probably start to raise the Psyfocus Max that Sven can attend. Ooh, we have an opportunity to hunt quite a few Thrumbo. Well, I don't have an animal pulsar. That would allow me to weaponize the Thrumbo against the defoliators. But I do have an interest in trying to hunt the Thrumbo, as Thrumbo fur is extraordinarily good for armor or clothing. So hopefully I'll be able to do that soon. Ooh, and some rain. So rain is going to make it disadvantageous to fight the centipedes because, of course, the weather of rain lowers your accuracy. But it will clean up some of the nasty corpse bile and puke and blood that is out there, making our desert tidy again. Now, as soon as Trustin is on his feet, I'm going to work drive him and have him focus pretty heavily on making sure we get the sniper rifles. But another thing I wanted to queue him up for is having enough generic slave clothing. So I'm going to set that up now. I don't really care if it's all that tattered. So I'm going to say, hey, do until we have one that is within 60 to 100% hit points, and make it out of cloth, drop it on the floor, and make it with Trustin. And we'll go through all of the slave clothing, setting that up, all of the bills identically. Now, the slave collar is a little different because it requires leather. So one of the things I'm going to have to do is to deselect Thrumbo fur. It's the only leather that I really would not want a slave collar to be made out of, as it is too valuable. And sourcing the leathers is going to be a little hard to do, only because there's not a lot of animals that come to this map tile. Only allowed ingredients, and I guess the last one I didn't set as Trustin only. And then, of course, the toque. And the toque is going to be important as if it gets cold, hypothermic slaves are ones that are less productive, so keeping them warm is, you know, kind of important. And there we go. Now we have some work orders for slave clothing. Another thing I wanted to do is to make sure that Trustin, once he's on his feet, smiths instead of constructs. And then No Luck is going to start constructing for me. So No Luck is going to be constructing in order to try to get No Luck, get her able to become a production specialist. So I'm going to queue up some floor smoothing for No Luck to do, as floor smoothing is a great way to grind construction skill because it doesn't cost resources and you can't fail. And both of those are kind of important when you have low skill. And then if she finishes this smoothing and is still not level 6, I can start smoothing random stone out in the map tile, because that is of no negative consequence if failed. And No Luck is 97% over immunity, Trustin 96% over immunity, so they're going to be on their feet and productive soon. This defoliator here, plenty of time before it expands, so I don't think that's much of a rush. And unfortunately, Sven is going to have some sleepless nights tending to Bunny and everybody else, making sure that they are as productive as can be. Speaking of feeding, I should keep a bit of an eye on Bryce's food needs. So next person or next slave to go for NPM. Oh, no, let's not do that, Trustin. So Trustin's on his feet finally, but slave 4, let's go ahead and not allow anything. Oops, I didn't mean to draft everyone. Just batching a little bit of food here. While Bunny is out with the flu, another thing I could do is to queue her up with a psychic sensitizer and psychic reader, both of which help her because she is one of the best traders in our group and she is also a psycaster. So we'll do those surgeries, and her room is already illuminated, but I'm not going to risk failing. Although there is a critical fail chance, I'm going to use Glitter Ward Medicine all the way. And now that Trustin is up, let's hit Work Drive for him as well. So let's get those operations in Bunny so that she can become a fantastic trader and psycaster, just like her younger brother Sven. And then once Trustin is completely clear of his flu, I'll have Trustin install the sensitizer in Sven. I'm not going to risk a surgery fail by rushing in that. Okay, so now with Trustin, No Luck, and Sven, I do have to worry a little bit about their movement speed because having a little remnants of flu in your system, as you can see, slows you down a bit. Especially No Luck with no bionic legs is only at 91%, so I have to be mindful when we're hunting Thrumbo that we can't run from them as fast as we normally could. But what I can do is use some of the automatic turrets. Ah, run! So I actually like situations like this where they very clearly chase one. Now I could also have them chase a slave. That's obviously another possibility, but I don't want to have the opportunity of hunting Thrumbo pass me by. Unfortunately, No Luck is not really fast enough to outrun it and be able to kite it in circles very effectively until it's wounded. But so far I haven't suffered any hits, so could be worse. And it's down. One down, many to go. I could also hit it with the vertical pulse. That would significantly slow it down as well. Should have done that. Hadn't thought of it in time. Now, the only worry is that these are clustered together, so they could all aggro in one larger group, which would make them a lot more dangerous than, you know, being aggroed individually. So I got to keep an eye on that. And now No Luck is training the construction skill up to level 6, which is the minimum requirement to become a production specialist, which we call an architect. All right, let's go ahead and hunt some additional Thrumbo because I don't want them leaving the map tile before. And luckily for me, it is just the one. And we'll try to get as many shots in with it vertical pulsed as possible. Now, another thing I wanted to do is Slave 2 is currently my cook. So I'm going to have Slave 2... Oh, this one got back up. Well, it's going to bleed out. I'm going to have Slave 2... make simple meals until Slave 2 hits level 6 cooking so that she can start making, or he rather, can start making fine meals. But I guess I will make it out of meat right now, the simple meals, because I'm about to get a whole lot of meat from the Thrumbo butchering. There's also an emergency approach for a royal vessel shuttle. Defending against the Pact of Waslonium. The Pact of Waslonium. Who are you? He is a rough Outlander Union, which is obviously going to be a little harder than Tribals. Possibly, but not right now. This expires in 12 hours. I probably don't want to accept it at midnight. The problem is the person I would want to accept it with is Bunny, who is currently incapacitated. So if I accept it at this moment, it's not exactly as if she could be the recipient, but it does come with 5 cataphracts, which is a pretty good escort, combat escort for such a quest. But I think there's more wealth to be had hunting these Thrumbo. Oh, now she's up. Yeah, there's definitely more wealth hunting these Thrumbo than that quest. So this still takes a little bit of priority. Because these Thrumbo are going to bring us great wealth. I'm going to allow Sven and No Luck to eat because of our memes. They don't really care if they eat on a table or not. So this is fine. And the hunt continues. Okay, so this revenge is for both Thrumbo, not just for one. And they're heading south to Budaman, which is awkward. So I'm going to have Budaman run north to us. And let's have Sven hit a vertical pulse, turn off the turrets. And there the pulse kicks in. Now this Thrumbo is battering down a wooden door. I got to keep an eye on that, make sure it doesn't breach. Because wooden doors are not exactly tough. In fact, Slave 1 and 2, let's get you... Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, dead. Not even wounded, just dead. And the last one, likely taken down with vertical pulse as well. Whoa, there it goes. Kicked in literally at the last second. I played that a little too close to the vest. Of course, if I really need to do, there's always stun lances and shock lances, which I apparently don't have currently equipped. So I guess that's moot. And there we go. That is all the Thrumbo downed. We're going to go finish off the last two, and then we're going to haul them inside. We're going to have them hauled as a priority over stone cutting. Obviously, stones are not as important as Thrumbo. And Bunny needs treatment. All right, Slave 2, how close are you? Oh, you are already cooking 6. So let's go ahead and suspend the simple meals, because we are no longer going to need them, and start making fine meals instead. And no luck, you cook? Oh yeah, I suppose you do. Whoa, I accidentally... Oh, that's unfortunate, but that's okay. I accidentally hit her with a Glitter World Medicine tending. And she already has 93% immunity. But I suppose that can happen if unattentive. Okay, so the quest expires in 7 hours. Let's try to accept it for Bunny. And the shuttle is to our southwest pretty considerably. It has crashed. Here's all the cataphracts. So I have to keep a Caminata alive. And all of these cataphracts, which is 2 minigunners, 2 charge rifles, and a charge lance, very, very well equipped, will help me defend. Kind of extraordinary firepower amongst that group. Okay, sounds good. I'm going to start rallying the troops that direction now. That is going to include all the slaves that are on their feet. Because you never know when you need a bit of a cannon fodder. So slave 3 is the only one without a shield belt, so I'm going to equip a smoke launcher so that I can smoke up around a Caminata, making it harder for a Caminata to get shot at. I am, however, going to allow Bunny to rest this one, as that flu is still rather serious. Now, it is unfortunate that Zaleb is asleep for this, as she is my prime guardian. But you don't always get everybody ready for the big fights. So here we are. Other things that I could do in preparation is to set up a bit of a defense zone. So I could have my slaves start hauling chunks to cover. So I have an allowed zone now, and all slaves except for slave 4 are going to be set to that zone, and then they are also going to be scheduled for full-time work so they don't try to go to sleep. Now, the only issue is, of course, Lucid is on a night owl schedule, but I'm just going to wipe that out anyway. Were you a night owl? Yeah, you were. Okay. And then if I undraft them, you'll see that they'll automatically start hauling, because that's the only work allowed in the zone. And this will give me, and possibly the cataphracts if they're smart, although they're not smart, but if they just by chance stand behind the cover, some cover to defend. Now what I'm hoping to do is to use the slaves that are that have shield belts as sort of cannon fodder, absorbing shots. And here we go. Perfect timing. Okay. It seems like a lot of their combatants are brawlers. So that's something to keep in mind. They don't seem all that well armed except for Larson. And my guess is they go down fairly quickly. I am not sure what they're even doing. They seem to be turning around. So Caminata has a bio-coated monosword, so it doesn't even suffer a shot penalty if I smoke. Some of these defenders aren't even defending. I don't know why this one's not even fighting yet. But one of the benefits here is we can smelt down the marine armor and recon helmet for material. I don't, however, want to get hit by a warhammer. Even if they are cannon foddery slaves. If I can avoid getting walloped. Sounds good to me. Alright, slave 3. Don't smoke there. That is far less than useful. Alright, let's close the distance to... Yeah, let's actually gang up on Pepper. She's now hitting us with a sword. And the attackers are now fleeing. We took very, very minor damage. We have managed to knock out almost all the raiders, yielding some medicine, which is going to be helpful. And armor that I can smelt. And then, of course, the honor that Bunny will get for the successful defense. So, schedule. Let's put this back. Done. Allow all. Have Buddha Man, Slave 3, and Slave 1 stand around so that Trustin can practice his medicine without medicine. Let's see here. One thing I wanted to do is to strip Larson so that we can get the armor to smelt down. And Trustin won't haul, but deconstruct the shuttle, because that is some good resources. Alright, so Sven, you haul the marine armor. And then we'll eventually, maybe we'll have our slaves caravan the rest. Actually, Trustin, you were supposed to continue tending these slaves. So I'll have these slaves try to caravan all the remaining material back to the base. And the raid has concluded, and all of the benefits shall be mine. Oh, Bunny is now no longer flued. So she's coming down as well. Perfect. Great timing. I guess I didn't generate the planet. My bad. All right, let's get a caravan going. All right, Bunny is going to quote-unquote escort these slaves, but not really. So Buddha Man, he's going to help caravan this stuff just to make it quicker. Short work of the haul. I don't even think I need the other slaves to help out. And if you're wondering about the slave having weapons in the caravan, oddly enough, it's not a problem. I know. You really would be forgiven to think, wait, isn't that an issue? No, it surprisingly enough is not. Can't tell you why, but I'm happy that that's the case. And whoa, that almost landed on my head. And now they're leaving, and I yield all of the benefits. So now we've cleaned up everything of wealth relevance to us. I'm just going to forbid the rest, because I can come down and burn it. And I don't know if Dopaspas is going to make it out. Currently trying to patch yourself, but guess we'll see. So, Buddha Man, I'm going to allow you into the weapons room briefly, so that you can drop the weapons. Brief forays into stockpiles like that aren't really much of a risk. It's constantly being around weapons, which is going to encourage bad behavior, not the one-off sort of 10 seconds in or something like that. That's really not the problem. And now she can do a Yeoman Ceremony for a new silent level. Probably this hour, I'm not going to do it, as everyone else is sleeping and doesn't want to attend said ceremony. But in the morning, yes, we'll get that done. The defoliator here, as you can see, still has considerable distance to go until the corn are threatened. And what I wanted to do is to wait for the rain to end, which doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon, and also to make some additional sniper rifles. But now, while I'm staring at that, let's go ahead and address the issue of beer, because, well, bread and circus is that ancient way of keeping slaves happy, is it not? And bread and circus more or less means keep them fed, keep them entertained. And bread and circus did include sort of a crude beer mixture of sorts. So the best way to do this is to put it in a cubbyhole closet, which is funny because even slaves will be able to gain access to this closet with really not that much threat to the colony. And I'm just trying to decide exactly physically where it should go. Ideally, it should go somewhere close to the core of the colony so that everybody is sort of equidistant to the brewing barrel or to the beer containers. But I'm not seeing a physical location that I particularly like. Now, what I could do as a stopgap measure is just throw it in. I'll just do that for now until I've decided a better spot. So if I put it in here, the benefit to this is this shelf here is behind a door. And as a result of being behind a door, it means that the proximity to quote-unquote weapons is severely limited. So let's take a look here. Yeah, beer. No longer require beer to be in there. Actually, the spillover beer should still be in this spot. But let's haul this beer and see if I've remedied the problem. So when a slave walks by the beer closet, for lack of a better term, we'll see if they trigger a rebellion interval risk. All right, Trustin, I no longer want you. Well, okay, so let's take them all off of required bed rest, as no one's really sick anymore. And then I suppose you can keep doctoring, but I think batching up a few meals for the donkey. I think I really want him to work on the sniper rifle. So here we go. Here is the proof that it works. Yep, it works. They can pass right next to the beer and not suffer the rebellion risk. And when they do want beer, they're allowed to go in here. And when they're in there, they're only in there for moments to grab a beer and to consume it. So, problem solved. Great. All right, Trustin. It is time for you to get to work. So, unfortunately, this is only an excellent sniper rifle. I was really hoping for Masterwork or better, as Masterwork has measurable, sizable benefits over anything less. Masterwork gets a 25% damage boost, and Legendary gets a 50% damage boost. Whereas all the other qualities do not get damage boosts, which is very much unlike melee weapons. Melee weapons and ranged weapons are treated differently. Ranged weapons only get a boost at Masterwork and Legendary. All the other quality bonuses are for accuracy only, whereas melee weapons don't have an accuracy. It's really only up to the skill of the brawler, and they get weapon, they get armor penetration and damage for every tier that they go up. All right, Bunny, I have a task for you. After you eat that, let's have you go torch everything down here, as I don't really need rotting corpses. Another thing I've noticed is that Slave 2 is getting hypothermic as a result of not having toques, so I'm going to have Trustin briefly make all of those slave clothing that I had queued up to try to keep these slaves warmer so that they're productive. I'm not trying to keep them happy, just warm so, well, happy is not bad, because of course that lowers the slave rebellion risk as well, but warm is really, really important so that they're productive. And making across the board Masterworks, and of course the sniper rifle was only excellent. Seems typical. Hey, there's an iguana on the map tile. So another thing I wanted to check is the smelt apparel allows for tainted apparel. So that smelt apparel will allow us to smelt the marine armor and recon helmet. Now, one of the things I can do with this tainted apparel if I wanted to, which I don't, but if I wanted to, I could have Bunny wear it, because Bunny is bloodlust, and bloodlust means that they do not care if they wear clothing from dead people. One of the benefits of bloodlust, but not something I particularly care to wear at this moment. The authority cap works great. So here's Lucid melting down the tainted recon helmet for some plasteel, and now the marine armor for plasteel as well. Oh, and there we go, a Masterwork sniper rifle. So that's exactly what I was hoping for. And I ideally would want 5 of them, 1 for each of my 5 colonists, but just a few will go a long way in dealing with these mechanoids. And I'm hoping that Slave 2 will see fit to wear a toque soon. I could force it, but I'm not that worried about it. Slave 2 is the one that spends the most time in the freezer and would obviously benefit from it. Trustin now has the full health in order to do a sensitizer. So I'm going to do this with Glitter World Medicine to reduce failure chance. And we're going to put a sensitizer in Sven to become an even better Psycaster. So if you watch the heat here, the neural heat, it will of course go up in the fall rate. Stays unchanged, but the psychic sensitivity will allow him to Psycast more casts in battle in a shorter period of time. And then let's bring that medicine quality back down to non-Glitter World, because that's a mistake I made with Bunny. So we have plenty of meat now, thanks to the wonderful Thrombos that dedicated their lives. And soon we're going to have a lot of corn, as this is just about ready for a full harvest. Slave 2 still refusing to wear toques. Once I have enough toques, here, because that's such a high quality toque, I'm going to force it and then clear forced. And building one more will meet all the bill requirements. And there it is. Another Masterwork. So 2 Masterwork toques in a row, and you better bet that the unfinished sniper rifle that I'm about to make will be excellent or worse somehow, just by luck. So I did mention that I wanted to do the Yeoman Ceremony. So I'm going to accept that now that it's early morning. And everybody is going to be required to be in attendance other than Trustin, I think. As I do want these sniper rifles being produced by Trustin. Where are you guys going? Yeah, you know, my throne room's up here. Where are you going? Okay. Short. Only a 3% difference whether or not he is attending. So, yeah, we'll just go all but Trustin. And then we could do the scarification if required. For some reason it says Zleb requires scarification ritual. So I can redo that once she's out. And Sven's making a point of vomiting on a slave during the ceremony. And it was unimpressive, which is unfortunate. But she has leveled up. And as a result, gained an additional sidecast. So if we check over at Bunny here, she is now Psylink level 1, giving herself stun. Ooh, that's a great one to have as a combatant. I did also finish the requirement for this monument. This we kept as a structure long enough that I can now break it down without penalty. Ooh, no, it was a Masterwork sniper rifle. I am lucky, I suppose. Really didn't think that was going to happen. Bunny is not yet required to have a throne room, which is why the bestowing ceremony didn't really take place in the throne room, as a throne room wasn't a requirement of being Yeoman. Now, I do have a certain limited amount of time in order to build this construction monument, but I think the focus right now, given that I still have 8.5 days, is to get sniper rifles to deal with the mech cluster, or the defoliator. And the defoliator radius is now far enough that I can no longer see the circle. So it's 51, so I can approximate that with plan zones. So it's about here that it's killing. And what I'm hoping for is at least one more high-quality sniper rifle to increase our accuracy. So the art for these sniper rifles here, the Suffering of Trustin. An engraving on this weapon represents Trustin inscribing his name on an advanced component with a satisfied expression on his face. Trustin lifts the advanced component seemingly without effort. The image somehow expresses both hunger and patience. Though few would expect it, the lower part of the image is dominated by a rogue. Who inscribes an advanced component this detailed? It's kind of funny. This pictorial tells the story of him completing a work on advanced component. Okay, and the other art, Burning Bat. An engraving on this weapon shows a star surrounded by rectangles. This scene takes place in the middle of a village. The work is executed in an expressionistic style. Neat. Bunny, I don't want you helping with construction tasks, but I guess there's nothing else for you to do. So this here is for no luck to level up to level 6 to become production specialist. And now we have our 4 sniper rifles. So perhaps, looking at the time, it seems next episode I will be making a point of destroying this defoliator. So all of our builds are done. I have 1 sniper rifle left to make. Zleb here has 8 days left in the pod. And then one thing I did note is maybe before the end, I will do some scarification for the slaves once they wake up. we have cleared a considerable swath of the math tile from chunks. It's very chunk-free. Something else that I could do down here is to destroy some of this debris to not offer cover to would-be raiders so that it's even harder to seek cover when attacking. And luckily, we're going to have a yield of corn in just a minute here, which is good timing because I just ran out of vegetables to make the fine meals. So, honestly, great timing. All right, scarification ritual. I don't want anyone... Oh, I need a cutter. I don't want really any of my colonists involved at all. I don't care about the quality of their cuts or how happy the ritual makes them. I just want the little annoying alert to go away, if I'm honest. And the last one is Masterwork. So we have 1, 2, 3 Masterwork sniper rifles. I'm almost tempted to try for a fourth, but I think I'm good for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot and have Trust in here start making mass mounts of corsets. And there we go. Another scarification ritual. Terrible ritual, but completed. And who else wants one? Apparently nobody. Okay, cool. So it's just an alert. I think it's an alert for Slave 4, who is not conscious, and Zleb, who is in a pod. So neither of them can be satisfied at this time. AKA, ignore it, because it don't matter. Level 4. 4 out of 6. So as soon as she hits level 6, No Luck will then specialize in production and be able to make considerably more beautiful art projects, which can help us become the wealthy architects that we desire to be. Oh, Trustin, thank you so very much for waiting to make the only good quality corsets for when I was making corsets. If I got a good quality sniper rifle out of you, I would have been quite disappointed, if I'm being honest. Well, my friends, that is all the time I have for this episode. So, farewell for now. Thank you for watching The Archotechs episode 21, The 11th Hour. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to chat about this or any of my other content, Discord is the place to be. Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to Discord. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons and Twitch subscribers for supporting me as a content creator, as well as viewers like you. Cheers, and catch you next episode.